Okay, we're live again, Marco.
Hey,
don't be so happy. Hold on, this calls for a celebration, and that's why we're drinking.
Who are we to talk tech?
Yeah, just
can't even get it live on the internet.
This is the How to Do a Crappy Podcast show.
90 what? 90 what episode?
93rd episode, and I swear by the 100th we'll have some of it figured out. Thank you everybody for joining. We are coming live from an undisclosed location. It feels like we did this before. We talked. If you watch like the second or third live video we did, you probably would hear with audio how I met Marco, but that's not important now. We're over that. Yeah. We're going straight into the tech. But we couldn't do this show without letting you know that this show is brought to you by tonight KTM, and KTM is powered by a distinct ready-to-race mentality. They're the world's leading high-performance street and off-road motorcycle manufacturer with North American headquarters in, you know where they are?
Temecula.
Murrieta, California. Right next door, Murrieta, California.
Same thing.
Over the years, KTM has built a reputation as a fierce competitor on racetracks around the world, and they have a 500 and a 250 in your garage, right?
If they had a 600, I'd buy it.
And the brand's remarkable global success is reflected in every product it develops and every move it makes. Like, maybe they should make a 600 for Marco, as he was a bigger guy.
The more power, the better, right?
Yeah, more power, the better. That's how this thing works here. Hey, thanks everybody. Am I going to change Chen's shirts tonight? No, I'm wearing an old team shirt. It's got sponsors there. Thanks, Ray. Remember Ray Groom, Spike Racing?
Oh yeah. Mini bike racing.
You know we had a Spike. You know Glenn Blake. Yeah. We were talking about him today because he's up there in Mammoth. He's doing ambassadorships.
It's a small world.
And Ray was the Spike of motocross. He was the guy. If you called DG and you needed to know how to jet your car, you ended up talking to a guy with a mohawk on the other line, and he knew how to jet the car. He just needed his Warren Miller to make him famous. He ended up being a preacher. He ended up being a preacher.
Don't judge a book by its cover, right? You never know.
You never know what you got underneath the mohawk. So,
scientist.
Hey, thanks everybody for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. I don't have a ton of questions loaded up yet, but I do have some. The other sponsor that is helping us out greatly tonight, another motorcycle manufacturer. They make good motorcycles. They make red motorcycles. This is Honda. And
Ride the red.
New in 2021, the CR450R is designed to take you straight from the starting gate to Victory Circle. This awesome open-class motocrosser features an all-new chassis, a major engine overhaul, new suspension, and new bodywork. And you can't forget about the hydraulic clutch because it prevents fade, you don't have to adjust it, and less hand fatigue. We all know about hand fatigue. Lighter than ever, the CR450R explodes out of corners when it's time to increase your lead. So get down to your local Honda dealer and check out the 2021 Honda CR450R.
Well said.
Go to mx.honda.com for their full line of competition bikes. And remember, the CR450R is intended for what?
Racing.
Closed course competition only. Yeah.
You don't need a spark arrestor on that one.
No spark arrestor. Go to the track and rip. So I'll let you do those at the end of the show because we usually do a little bit at the end of the show. So you saw how that was presented?
Yeah, that was great.
Also brought to you by Climb. Climb is the makers of the boots that you wear on your snowmobile.
Oh yeah.
And right now they're blocking the wires that I'm pretty sure our next coastals come in and trip over the wires and it'll shut the whole show down. And we're going to be in even worse shape than we were already. So we are going to take a lot of questions from the chat room tonight because that's what we have. Marco, like we said earlier, this is how you get Tech Talk Taco Tuesday being hosted from your house.
You go and give one suggestion,
One suggestion, and then I come to your house, and then you complain, and then I say, okay, we're doing a show.
It wasn't a complaint.
Oh, that's right. I got
suggestion.
I got to think about my words. I got to use the right words. The suggestion. You had a really good suggestion. I forget what it was.
Less is more.
Less tech.
Less tech.
Less.
Well, sometimes you start watching these shows and you think you have it all, and then you want oh, I need that, I need that. Oh, now I need that, and I need that. I've never went out and got all that stuff, and I'm still riding just fine. But I do learn a lot from listening.
Right.
And
so you felt like you
like it.
You felt like after watching the show, you were compelled to buy a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, you always need something.
Sponsors, listen to that.
There's always something you need, you know?
Yeah.
They don't come turnkey anymore. That's why these aftermarket products are always available.
Well, most of them are turnkey.
I mean, most of them are, but I'm 200 plus, and I always need something, you know? Something to make it...
That's not the bike's fault.
True.
Yeah, the bike's not doesn't... It'll work.
Maybe we should have silver ones of these.
I'm good. I still have this one. This one hasn't hit the ground yet. Look, it's still... It's
just a prop. It's just a prop.
It's all good. So thanks, Marco, for having us. We're going to try to keep the super technical parts out, but and then you're more than welcome to answer the questions when it runs in your wheelhouse.
Geez, okay.
Because I was snowboarding today with your wife, who hauls ass on a snowboard.
Yeah.
And my good buddy Ronnie McCoy was out there snowboarding with us. No, he was skiing. We were skiing. I was skiing, and she was... Because I can't snowboard fast enough to go snowboarding with your wife.
Hey, she's been at it a long time.
Yeah. And so we were ripping, and she said, ask Marco about changing tires. Nobody knows that Marco is really good at changing tires.
Well, you know, when I asked you who's the best guy you know, you told me you were, so I watched you, and there's no, you know, it's not brain science. You just have to learn how to do it one way, and once you do it that one way, you don't change, and you just do it as many times as you can. If you have your friend's tire, you can. Everybody's tire, you can, until you get it right. And hopefully you don't put your paddle tire on twice in a row backwards. That helps.
Oh, never
That's
happened.
always good.
I've
never done that. I've done it twice in a row a couple
We've
times.
been to the dunes before.
Yeah, and then, so yeah, practice makes perfect. And putting your tire on now, I don't mind going by the motorcycle shop and letting my guy Brian at Mammoth Cycle Works do it.
Yeah. You can throw plugs in there too. You're all done.
Yeah,
all
I mean,
night
I got a guy now that's even better than I am at it, but at least I know how to do it.
Does he have a machine?
I did learn from you. He has a machine, and it's pretty funny. It takes him about 45 minutes, and I'm always like, dude, I'd be done in 20 minutes ago, you know.
20?
But I can do it in about 7 minutes a tire, so I feel like I'm pretty good at it now.
That's good. So you're claiming you learned from me.
Yes, I did.
So in this learning process, did I ever push you out of the way and start doing it for you?
Oh my gosh. I'll never forget the one time I came in after riding about 100, 200 miles one day, and you looked right at the back tire of that 400 I was riding, and you said, what the heck did you do a big old skid for? You wrecked the tire. And I was like, this guy is whack. Like, I always do a skid when I come from dirt to street. That's how I do it. And I learned real quick that definitely could wreck the tire, especially if you're trying to go 500 miles in a day. And but yeah, tires are, if we don't have those, what do we got?
Yeah, so changing tires. So the other thing you're really good at is detailing motorcycles. So this is where we differ. Like my stuff like looks like it was run through the wringer, which is not the washer, and I don't mind so much because like I don't look at it when I'm riding.
You're riding it again the next day.
Yeah, it's just like it's okay. It just has to be mechanically sound. But you run you in the summer months you have a car and boat and motorhome detailing business, and it seems to bleed into the motorcycles a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to clean them too much, of course. You always, less is more, but...
Pressure wash the chain.
I love having a really nice inspected chain, clean chain. I love having a nice air box, nice snappy throttle, and, poor man stuff. That's the stuff you can do with just a little bit of a wrench and some time, and stuff goes a long way.
Yeah.
When your bike prepped up, a little quick inspection... Plus, it looks good, when your buddies come by and see it on the stand in the garage.
We agree on lubing the chain after your ride, not before your ride.
Yeah, while it's nice and hot, those O-rings can suck that oil in, and
coats it in.
Probably the best time to inspect your chain. Throw it up on the stand, give it a good brushing and good coating of something anyway, and then while you're power washing your bike or having it sit for a month in between rides, it's.
So for those that missed the first introduction, this is Marco Henriksen, longtime friend, and he's gotten me into more crazy sports before they were considered sports. Like we did
some dirt boarding, mountain boarding.
Yeah. So we
made some history there at Snow Valley. We raced the very first World Championships in America
of dirt boarding.
Dirt boarding, border cross, 4 at a time, head to head down the course. I remember you were in the Pro class, yeah, I mean, made the main.
I didn't even know what I was doing.
You and Quinn Cody and
Yeah.
actually Sean White was there. Nobody even knows that, but
Really?
Sean White at a
In the
young
dirt?
age was there that week, and we made history at Snow Valley back in 2000.
And we also were the first people to ever write dirt boards down Kamikaze.
Kamikaze.
Yeah, that was good. Got kicked off.
We
After
snuck snow scoots on Mammoth
Yeah,
Mountain.
snow scoots. Before anybody knew what a snow scoot was, got kicked off again.
Raced mini bikes at places that we can't even talk about.
Yeah, more undisclosed locations.
Yeah, that mini bike racing was definitely the best. Definitely the best times we've ever had too. Was definitely riding mini bikes. I think that's what I remember most about you. Is
In the back, in my backyard in Costa Mesa.
half pipe, going big airs out of the half pipe
On the CR60?
KX65.
No, it was a CR60.
Something two-stroke.
Yeah.
Way before, Krusty and those guys and Dane and those guys that had heard about Jimmy right off the bat. And
They came over and wanted all my video footage.
yeah, way ahead of his time. You were making videos with crazy music, jumping over the fire pits, even in right out of high school and college for you. So you were kind of the
No, I didn't do any of that. It's like
doing stupid stuff on motorcycles before anybody.
Hard to find the videos of that.
Geek riding. You're some of my favorite times watching you geek ride out at the dunes. You and Spencer.
Yeah. Spencer's still around. Spencer.
Yeah, a lot of times you guys will ride motorcycles and you think about somebody that taught you something, and every single time I ride, I think about something that Jimmy's taught me. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's a plug for my school, my off-road riding school. www.jimmylewisoffroad.com. Class this weekend is full. My next class is pretty much full. So if you want to get on our newsletter, go to the website, sign up for the newsletter, and that way you know when the classes come out because they generally sell out. And you will learn that if you want to go faster, you need to turn the throttle farther. You don't have to buy an ECU. And you don't have to buy a pipe. You just usually you can turn the throttle farther and the bike goes faster. It's kind of an amazing phenomenon that we've learned on motorcycle riding.
I'm looking forward to the school myself coming up. My wife and I are going to come out and see you and try to learn a thing or two.
George asked me to explain the clogged tube to the sensor we suspect is causing issues on my 300. I can't explain it exactly right now because I haven't investigated it enough. But like a lot of times, there's a pressure because yours is an older one. Yours doesn't have the sensor that's external, the one that's on the bottom of the oil injection tank. Yours is actually only taking a reading from the crankcase, and there's a tube somehow that can get plugged up with oil and stuff if the stuff collects on the bottom end. And I don't have the exact thing, but I think we have guests coming.
Oh, who could it be? Is it a surprise guest?
It's a surprise guest. He doesn't talk that much, but it's a good.
Does he know we're live in the sound room here with makeup girls and stuff?
He said to get the headsets ready, but he doesn't realize.
Okay.
Hey, this doesn't look like a studio.
Okay, be careful. Don't kick any of our stuff. We've already gone bad 3 or 4 times.
Did you do your temperature before you came in?
Yes, I did.
Temperature check.
And a COVID check.
He actually did. He's not even lying.
I've had
I
3
know.
tests today.
Yeah, in 3 today.
Yeah.
Come on in. Let me let you sit down here for a second and say hi.
Yeah, come
Might
on
get
in.
another coldie.
Sit on the hot seat chair, and it is the hot seat chair.
The hot seat.
There's a fire
Look at
behind
you
you.
guys.
We kind of wanted the studio to look a little bit like when your grandpa's sitting there with a whiskey.
It's nice. I
And
like this.
It's comfortable. So the camera's up there. It's actually my phone because the other camera's broke and there was no sound.
Thank you. I don't want to take your chair though. You can back there.
You can pull up another chair like the bar chair because I think you got room on your side. It'll all fit. I mean, just don't shake the floor because the camera, the phone will fall down. Don't cover up.
Good job
the fire,
coming in,
that's
Chris.
why.
Hopefully you can save us here.
Well,
Jimmy and
man.
I were kind of skipping, trying to get the.
We were waiting for the
Voice
professionals
on.
to show up.
Well, I know he kind of stalls out about the halfway mark.
So this is Chris Berry. Everybody, he's been on how many Tech Talks? You been on 2 or 3? Yeah.
At least 10 or 20.
No.
1.
One? Only one.
1.
Oh.
93 here.
So
Number 93
this
today.
is show 93, not 93 shows.
Oh.
So much, a lot of knowledge. So we were going to talk about how good we used to test motorcycles back in the day.
Can I get rid of this or do I need to stay?
Oh no, you're okay.
Okay.
You're safe. We're safe.
We're all positive around here.
Yeah.
Very
Positive that we'll be okay.
Yeah.
positively negative.
Doing our
doing our stuff. Cody Joseph says the crankcase pressure sensor itself fails pretty often too on the TPIs. It could be a clogged hose though. So that is true. So I've heard about failed sensors, but they're not as common as what you would think. It's a lot of times I've heard it's just the hose getting a little bit of stuff in there and causing the reading. You don't have to worry about what we were talking about. We were answering some really technical questions, which I've been told by somebody that knows a lot more about this than me. We need to like lay off the tech, cut the tech back about 20 or 30%.
Well, I'm already at this point thinking, what kind of oil is he using? Is he using an oil that flows good when it's cold, like snowmobiles have to have? Is it an AMSOIL? Is it a Lucas? Is it a Yama Lube or whatever? Like, what kind of oil are you even using?
That's really good because I mean, if you
that's what I think.
So the oil that they recommend is they will recommend the Motorex, and it's a special fuel injected or oil injected 2-stroke oil, and it's their high performance one and stuff. And I imagine if you ran the wrong kind of oil at some point, and don't tell George this, but he left his bike at my house for a while, and I have no idea what I put into it.
Best high performance vehicles in borrowed one. We always say that.
Well, and I was told by a guy.
There you go. Actually, you told us whatever oil you have put in there.
It's best that it has oil in it.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. I was told that by a very well-respected oilologist. That he's a petroleum engineer. So, and I would say his name right now, but like I don't.
Does he live in South Dakota or is he?
No. He's down in California. He's in the motorsports. And I would say his name, but the problem is if I say his name, he might be associated with us right now, and it's like,
Well, I know in snowmobiles, I've never even. Everybody's a freak about oil.
Oh no, it's same motorcycles.
AMSOIL sponsors the Ski-Doo team, but if you talk to anybody about a Ski-Doo, you got to use the Ski-Doo oil, and I'm like, Ski-Doo doesn't make oil. They're just buying probably the best stuff they can get. And it's awesome, but I love AMSOIL, Lucas, the brands that promote, the race teams and stuff. That's what I go by. And what kind of oil is this guy using? Motorex?
Whichever ones I have in the cabinet.
No, but I mean on that clog too.
I don't know exactly what George is. Hot. I would suspect because George, like he reads the manuals and he pays attention. I suspect he's probably had Motorex in it most of the time. Good. I don't know. I honestly don't know what I put in it. But when I did put whatever I put in it, it was an oil injector oil. It was the right thing. You know what else I did with that bike? I went and took him, because he wasn't looking. I went and took him race king of the motos on it. How's that?
Couldn't have done anything.
Yeah. No. Actually, I put some character marks on the pipe and all the things. It's still.
If you autographed the tank, it's going to be probably worth a lot more money now.
Oh no! The tank has his sticker on it. Like it literally has a picture of his. So he has this little emoji sticker.
His face on there?
Yeah, his face. So he had this little one that he thought was pretty cool. He sticks it on everybody's stuff. So I went and got big graphics, and his face was on the radiator.
So you just autographed the frame.
George is a legend.
I autographed the frame, the lower frame rails.
I've heard of his name ever since I started riding back in the 80s. And
George?
Some of my cousins have gone to Scott's when he started.
Oh, no, this is a different George.
Different George?
Yeah, this is George. It's spelled like Jorge.
Oh, like Jorge.
Like Jorge George, but he's not Mexican. He's actually Chinese. So it's kind of confusing.
See, I can't keep up to all you guys.
You got to come to the school and you can learn all this.
Whatever happened to Clark at No Lean, That's who does my suspension.
He's still around, yeah. He did your suspension too for a little while, didn't he?
I still just go to No Lean. High Desert.
Yeah, he's still
High
there.
Des, yeah.
I just
ranking.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff. We went off in the suspension tangent. Not enough.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Different George.
So somehow we're trying. So see how this stuff works. We talk about oil.
I don't get out much. It's true. I'm out here in Mammoth, just stuck in this undisclosed
location that we didn't just say.
One tiny little motorcycle shop with a know-it-all mechanic and the best rider in the world.
So the problem is if people know where I'm at, then they're going to think I'm out here goofing off.
Oh God! Did they even know what you had to do today?
I know. We had to keep up with.
Remember, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, I knew some people.
You could never pull this off tonight if you would have done what you did today. Heck no.
Right, I wouldn't have been here.
No way.
Yeah. No. So, hey, good show, everybody. Good show. Yeah.
The only reason I got here
Did we
was...
cheers yet on this 93rd show? Congratulations. Let's get a cheers.
They're telling us
a quick cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the 93rd show.
93rd show.
Who's number 93 in Supercross this year? Can we talk about him?
94 is Roxon now.
Well, there you go. Let's talk about him. He's killing it.
Yeah, we don't talk about racing in this show.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we'll just skip right.
It's not
I had a show.
tech racing.
I had a show like
Tuesday.
2 shows ago, and all it was a bunch of racers, and we didn't answer one tech question the whole time.
I don't even have TV. I have to watch it on YouTube.
They wanted to talk about themselves the whole damn show. Racers, I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, I wanted to talk about me, and they wanted to talk about racing.
They're all going to be off-road racers someday, and you'll get a chance to talk to them.
They said we need to turn the mic up, but I can't turn it up because it's like in my phone and it's in a case, and there's a lot of lint on that mic, so it's not as good as we usually do.
From all those in the pocket videos.
Yeah, it's I have 2 of these other cameras
in the pocket.
Man, I thought I was gonna have a headset and everything when I came in here. The only reason I showed up because it sounded like a tequila, the address.
Is your driver still waiting out there?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the address of this location sounded like a tequila, and Chris shows up. That's perfect. So Danny Turner says he thinks that something related to warm up on that KTM 300 TPI, and they really like to idle until the bypass opens at 120. So blipping it really loads up with the oil. I haven't done my research on this, so I can't answer that. But that sounds logical to me too. Like we're talking about the KTM 300. It's almost like a Ski-Doo. What kind of sleds did you run up at the mountain on this?
We got Polaris's at the shop we run, and then the mountain, Mammoth Mountain, has all Ski-Doo.
All Ski-Doo, yeah.
And we all run that Lucas oil, and barrels and barrels and barrels of it. It's unbelievable.
What are your skis in the front yard?
These are Ski-Doos, and I run AMS oil.
AMS oil.
Interceptor.
And it all works. No problems.
I like the fancy, expensive stuff, so I always just buy whatever the guy at the shop has. But like you said, if it's oil, you just got to make sure you're using it. And
Hey, my wife says the sound is fine, so everything's good.
Thanks, Heather.
And if my wife's watching, I know I'm going to be in trouble. And like she'll like go, how many beers did you have? And I'm like
it's not even open. It's a prop. This one has water in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You fill it with water. Yeah, so I'd look cool.
Pure water.
This is number 2.
I got the wrong beer. That's
the
why
show.
I won't drink it.
No, this is the fine Yellow Bellies. They're good. The Coors Banquet beers.
The kind we used to steal from our dads, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's not an Oli. It's not an Oli.
I wanted Miller High Life.
I know.
The champagne and beers. We were watching the commercials
There's
yesterday.
some good commercials.
I wanted those, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long walk to that store.
Hey, if this is show 93, how come you're reading off at show 89 right there? Your notes.
Okay, so like that's because they had the ad reads, which if for asking, you may get to do that at the end of the show. You may get to do the ad reads for me. I'll let you read the Honda ones. You're fully a Honda guy. You're a Honda guy.
I got a KTM
Oh, you're a KTM 500 too,
Yeah.
but you have a Honda
500
too.
DXT. Yeah, I got it.
So you support our sponsors by buying their products.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm wearing a BMW shirt tonight. How's that for switching teams? Just quickly, just blast from the past. Because I thought we were going to talk about racing, and I thought I'd wear a racing shirt. No, wait, you tried to talk about racing.
Those BMWs are really fast.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Especially when you turn the throttle all the way.
What was the one guy at Erzberg? His kid?
Oh, Lettenbetzel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now he's on a KTM now.
Right, but he started.
Right. Well, his dad raced BMWs when I raced BMWs.
What a story.
Back in the
I'm
day.
watching him.
Okay,
I like BMW
Mark
cars.
Daniels wanted a ride test report on the Kref suspension for the 500. So I had Kref do suspension for my KTM 500, and so when I got it back, I'm not lying here, I put the suspension on my KTM 350 because that was the bike I was taking out to King of the Hammers, which is where I rode the bike around a bunch, and since then I haven't ridden it a ton. And so it was actually pretty cool. Like, so talking about suspension, guys, everybody has a different suspension thing. This suspension experience so far has been like the most like high level first class. You would like it because like they sent me a box to put the suspension in and ship it back. And then they had one of the guys call me and we did a suspension talk, debrief. You know, he wanted to know what I didn't like and what I liked about it and how to do it. And then they took it back and they revalved it, but they put a lot of stuff into it. And the thing is they actually do something called revalve control, and it's a separate valve that they put on it that adjusts essentially the mid-speed damping.
He's losing me already right now. I'm already lost.
I thought you were listening to it.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
So you need to
Okay.
stop at this really nice box.
I know the box is coming. I'm ready.
You put your suspension in, then we
They
go
take
to-
care of it.
Then,
Yeah.
then
Oh,
the box comes back and the suspension is better.
Oh yeah.
Like anytime you
Like
send
it's
your
supposed
suspension off to any guy, but see that's a problem. This is where because this is what I do. I geek out and I'm like, okay, the stuff they did is really good. The customer service is like level 10. I mean, it's really really nice.
Oh, I know
got
that.
I got it on. I have not honestly had time to do a super proper suspension evaluation. I need to go ride it in some different conditions to try it out, and I need to put it on the 500. Even though the 350 and the 500 are kind of the same chassis, it was 500 suspension went away. Even though I switch suspension between them all the time, it'll just help me have a better knowledge of it when I finally go to explain that. And I have to test a Yamaha WR250 that we just put a new ECU on that I have a question about. I have to test, the Beta 300 went away, and I shot stuff to do the video on it, but I was very busy taking care of other business today, and I couldn't edit that video. But I do have a Beta 200 coming, 200 two-stroke.
Whoa.
Yeah, got that. There's gonna be an exchange or trade taking place.
I have a feeling Heather might be testing that one.
She tests them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't invite me out.
We're too
try
heavy.
those out. Yeah, he's like,
You're always busy. You have a what do they call it?
We need you to call us when you get some ninjas. We need some ninja. Big bikes to test.
There's a lot of stuff. There's more stuff coming on Dirt Bike Test. Trevor's went out racing. I didn't get a race report from him on Dirt Bike Test. I think he's like me. He's trying to move everything off Dirt Bike Test and put it into his own personal thing because we all want to become like brands and channels and influencers, like the things that I don't even know that part. Do you know
Like Travis Pastrana.
Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, like
I don't
Travis.
know. I don't
You like
You want to be
Travis
like
Pastrana.
Travis. Yeah.
I mean, you are an influencer.
We watched the Travis Pastrana show last night.
I love watching Travis Pastrana. He's always doing something crazy.
That
He
guy's
sets
awesome.
the bar and the family. Yeah, his program is
You
great.
want to know a true fact that's really funny that I laugh at all the time is so I was at Erzberg. I was there for BMW, riding with BMW, and I was actually racing a BMW in the hill climb thing, and then a gas in the thing. And so Travis was kind of new. He was over there on a bet from Jeremy McGrath that Jeremy could beat him at Erzberg or go
I
farther
remember
at
that.
Erzberg. So they did a whole Red Bull TV show with it and everything. And but anyway, so the promoter took me and Travis out because he wanted to show us some of the sections because we didn't know, like the Americans, you don't even know. And Jeremy was probably too busy doing like other stuff. But anyways, I went riding with Travis. We went riding out with the promoter and he took us on some trails and stuff like that. And we kind of got done. And Travis comes over to me and he goes, "Dude, Jimmy, it was so cool to ride with you." And I'm like, "Dude, you're Travis Pastrana. Don't say that to me." It was cool to go, but he's genuinely the nicest dude. He just wants to make everybody happy. Like you say, "Hey Travis, do a backflip." You just do a backflip for no reason. Just like, yeah, okay. You said do it. It's cool. I'll do it.
Probably do it on a Beamer.
He probably would have.
Probably
Yeah,
could.
yeah, he probably could. I mean, what
Did you buy a new helmet that next day, a larger size? Did you need a bigger helmet the next
No,
day? Or
because I was an extreme enduro rider at the time, and he beat me by like a long shot.
I remember
He
watching that
finished
too.
fourth. Dude,
I do remember watching that.
do not
And he did
underestimate
not
somebody.
He came back to do it again and again after that.
I don't know if he came
Yeah,
a
he
second
came
time.
back.
Did he do a second time?
Godfrey and those guys, I think they all came back.
Well, I know they came back. I don't know if Travis came back with them or something. I can't remember.
I can't imagine. I watched it on YouTube.
Oh,
You spend a lot of time on YouTube, huh?
Oh yeah, I watch. I get all my hard riding on YouTube. Yeah, that's where I do my best riding.
half of the discussion was, have you seen this? Have you seen Suzuki Super Hammer and early 4x4 cars? And it's like bang, and like now we're in like New Zealand or Mars
Well, I was glad
or
I was
something
able
like
to
that.
show you stuff you hadn't seen.
I live in a very small world. That's why I can talk about
I could
suspension
feel it. I
clickers.
felt it, and
That's why suspension clickers are important to me because I understand them and they don't talk back and I don't know how to have to push the buttons or make the sound work or anything. I just go ride and I'm going to do a very thorough job testing that craft suspension to bring it back full circle. Just
next week.
let me think.
Yeah.
Next week on the show, the craft suspension report. I promise I will ride it more and do
The best money you can spend is on your suspension, keeping that bike grounded.
No,
Go for the weight.
the best money you can spend is on making sure you have good tires on your bike. Good tires. I would go with tires are probably the easiest thing for most people to do. And
I thought you were gonna go with riding skills, like your own.
oh shit, I forgot about
Coming to a
that.
I thought that
school.
was
The
number
one modification-
School and
That's
learning.
like the number one.
The one modification that'll work on any motorcycle is a better rider. And if you want a better rider, you can go to Jimmy Lewis Off-Road Training, where for a small fee, which is worth every penny, you will become a better modified rider, and your modified rider will go on every bike that you hop on. So it's not like an exhaust or suspension tuning or even tires that wear out. Your better rider will only get better and better. Hey, George, how did you like that? That was a good...
See, I just had to lob it up there for him.
Chris,
Just right out of the
You
park.
pay that money, you'll get a nice teacher. He'll teach you everything.
T-shirt. Go get
so
the,
nice.
Go get the T-shirt for the sponsor.
I know. I'm gonna show. I can show it real quick.
How come you're not wearing the hat I gave? Oh, that fit.
I don't
Talk
wanna
about a
say-
big head. Do not shake the camera mount.
I know.
Right.
Look at that.
This is what we're talking about tonight.
That's what I call swag. When you come around here, you got to drop something. Look at that. What do you think, Chris?
Oh, yeah, nice.
That was
Yeah,
good.
it's nice.
Jimmy Lewis
Okay.
Off-Road Riding School,
Hold on.
T-shirts and everything. How's the merch?
How's the sound working? Okay. Yeah, was there any other shameless plug? Is what it was called. And Rusty says, Rusty, I think you bought more T-shirts than anybody else. And there is another person. I still have this one.
Well, you can have a prop.
Okay, a problem. You getting sponsored by Coors? I know you've got like deals lined up all over the place. You got.
Oh yeah, I'm just rolling in deals. Yeah,
Yeah, bro deals.
bro deals. Yeah,
You know-
Insta bro. I haven't even got into Chris yet.
Dude, you remember
Trying to get a
Marco?
Toyota.
Yeah, you've met
Yeah,
Marco
yeah.
I'm
before.
trying to get a
Yeah.
Toyota out of Chris here in a minute, or at least the keys to one for the night.
Hey,
I like to say, best high performance vehicle is a borrowed one.
right. This is almost like his other saying. I'm gonna tell you. You know,
It's like a rental.
you know how a bro deal really works, right?
I
You should, right? But I'm gonna break it
kind
down.
of do.
Everybody gets screwed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was give and you shall receive.
Yeah, that's what everybody gets screwed because no matter what the bro deal is, it like ends up being harder work than it would if you just went and laid down cash for it. Right?
Yeah.
It's somehow, some way, if that bro deal can haunt you 7 years later, and a guy goes, "Hey, remember when I gave you that tire at, where you were out at Lucerne Valley, and your wheel fell off? I gave you that tire," and you're
But it's
like,
always that one that works out that keeps you wanting to bro out.
"Yeah,
bro
yeah,
down.
yeah." I like to help people with bro deals, and I have connections on certain things and things, but
It's always you know, it's who you know.
it's always
sometimes.
third party removed, and you're bro deal to the max, and it's
Dude,
like,
bro, dude, dude,
That's
That was in the whole
dude.
day on the mountain the other day.
bro.
no, I was shredding. We weren't on the mountain. We were working.
It's good to see you out of your element.
We're
You know,
working-
Jimmy
we're
does it
working.
in the
Oh,
dirt.
sorry,
Do it in the
sorry.
dirt. You got some. You
Wait,
have
the
to get out
show's
of the
still
dirt.
going? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the show's still
We're
going.
still
Heather hasn't texted us yet.
Well, they can't text me because I turned my phone off because it's doing the show. So
This is kind of a take what you get. We're over at 8,000 feet elevation. Our internet up here in the high altitudes doesn't work as well. So you know, that,
how's the sound working as it crushes a banquet beer? Yeah, I didn't crush it. I just dropped it on the ground. Yeah.
so are people asking you questions about motorcycles?
No, they don't care about motorcycles anymore.
Is
Like,
Tarek? Do you see Tarek on there at all from Orange
No,
County
where's Tarek?
Suzuki?
Derek from?
It's his fault that I'm here. He's the one that financed me in the first place.
Oh, that's right. He financed every surfer dude I know.
Dude.
Like every. It was
Little
like
down, little a month.
Orange County Suzuki. He had you guys mainlined.
I have like an 820 now because of him. I bought a motorcycle every year or two, and I would just pay the payment, pay it, sell it for what I owed, buy another one, and, which is what I highly recommend. Everybody should do that. Why buy an old clapped out bike? Go buy a brand new one, make the payment, $150, $60, $80 a month, big deal. Sell it in a year and a half once you need everything, and then get another one. All you young guys, that's the way to do it.
I'm on the complete opposite
I
side.
know,
of the
if you're a
spectrum.
young guy and you need credit,
You need to work
you
your
only
job
work
for a
as
while.
much as you owe.
You need to work. You need to work. You need to work.
Finance that
You work
bike.
your job until you have enough money to buy it, and then you buy it. And then
No, not anymore.
not anymore.
No. Little down, little a month.
They need
You'll never get.
they need more hard jobs.
Thank you,
They
Tarek,
need
if
more.
you're out there listening. I would never. I just bought a new van, thanks to you.
Is the credit still rolling?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have credit.
I can see.
Why not buy a new bike? Go to a shop, make a relationship. Tarek took me riding, took me to Spoba. I rode with Malcolm Smith because of Tarek, my shop owner, you know. I had to go to
And
Tony
technically,
T
since you had that
riding.
Suzuki in the back of your truck, I met you
I
because
met
of
you. I
Tarek.
mean, if it weren't for Tarek, I wouldn't have
Yeah,
I would have nothing. The good thing I went and financed a bike.
Derek has asked a couple of really good questions in the show before.
Well, he's
I didn't know he kind of got out of the motorcycles thing, right?
No, he's just a worker,
He works in the Triumph dealership.
No,
or the
Mercedes.
Oh, Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes. Service rider at Mercedes, so he knows high end and talks to all the guys. No, he's still into riding, and I know he broke his foot or something about a year ago, but he's back at it and riding single track every chance.
So what's your theory on how do you buy used stuff?
I buy both.
Yeah.
Yeah, my 500 was new.
Oh,
and then you come across deals and buy new bikes. I'm like a mixture. Like you're brand new bikes, brand new everything. You're used.
Well, I get everything new for free. Like they get it for test. They get a test, and so like.
But when you go buy stuff,
I haven't bought it. How long has it been since I bought a new bike? That's a really good question.
Right, so I'm kind of a mixture of that. I buy used bikes.
Yeah, I guess it is strange that I expect that just people should be expected to be given new bikes. Is that really strange? Like, doesn't everybody get like? There's a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram that have more followers than me, so shouldn't they get brand new bikes for free? How many followers? You guys see if you
I have so many Facebook followers.
I heard if you have 17 or more followers,
I bet you 50 of them have motorcycles.
Right, so
50 of them have.
So somebody should give you free motorcycles. Yeah. I don't want them anymore because it's like a lot of work. I mean, the way I do it.
I have lots of friends that let me ride their bike.
You know what I need to do?
That's even better.
Okay, I need to find like some hot chicks that just want their picture taken and to be on popular Instagram. And if I put them next to the motorcycle, I don't have to test them anymore.
That shouldn't be hard living where you live. There's all kinds of hot chicks out there that ride.
In Pahrump?
Yeah.
Hot chicks that ride.
You can get the chaps. You can get the chaps that go on, and the girls out there promoting the school.
No, he's talking about motorcycles.
You're right. Isn't there like a parade in Pahrump that you could use?
I have some real questions coming in. Although someone did, George says, "Hey Jimmy, what used bikes do you have for sale?" I have a lot of KTM RFS 4-strokes for sale. Like that's the old indestructible KTM carbureted KTM 4-strokes. I have one that's actually California registered dual sport, and the others are just dirt bikes and
vet ridden.
They've never been raced. Then as long as they've been in my possession,
they've never won a race.
They were used as rentals, but very infrequently, and they're well maintained and perfect training.
Professionally maintained and.
But I thought you didn't sell anything.
I haven't.
I can't sell.
So you're like, say it's for sale, but then it's like, nah, it's not really for sale.
They're probably trying to lowball you all the time. No, they never broke down. Got a quick question from Justin Smith. I haven't read this, but I'll read it out loud.
Oh, Justin's a great guy.
Moto question. He says, I can set sag all day long with my fancy Motion Pro sag tool, but what happens when you have a rally tower, a big old gnarly highway dirt bikes brush guards, and a heavy skid plate? Obviously that stuff has a dramatic effect that may not captured by static sag. How do I know what springs to use? Okay, so Justin, you're talking about setting your bike up for rally. Okay, so you know what a rally bike looks like.
Yeah.
It has a lot of stuff up front, like fairing and all this stuff.
Thousands of dollars.
And he's talking about sag, rider sag, which is generally in the rear of the bike. So so if you're putting weight on the front and it's in the rear, it'll affect the balance a little bit. So and here's the thing about sag that I get in arguments with people. Manufacturers have a recommended sag for your motorcycle. That's just where you should start if you don't know where to go. And then when you ride it, wherever it's at, Chris will agree with me because he's one of the guys in the world that
gone pretty far off that recommendation.
Oh, you go way far off it, but you were responsible for the number that came in the manual sometimes.
Yeah.
You rode bikes, pre-production bikes, and you guys determined this is the recommended sag.
But they didn't always go to that.
Oh yeah.
To that extreme.
Right.
There was like that. You shouldn't be in this.
So it's a number. You're measuring how far the.
It's like scientists. Scientists do this stuff.
Right.
So you're kind of a scientist.
A little bit. Yeah. I got some college experience.
Yeah. No.
College level science experience.
Good thing.
So it's the distance essentially from the where the axle is to a fixed point on the back of the motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
And you get a number. And the manufacturer will tell you exactly where to measure it to get exactly their number.
We have a book that has that in it.
And then you're standing, oh yeah, there's a book. It's called the manual. Every once in a while people read it. It's amazing.
And not many, but sometimes they just come and ask me what I think, and I go, well, let's just read the manual because I don't know what the number
They
for every
set
bike.
my sag for me when I bought my bike,
That's a good shop.
right?
That's a good shop. And then they proceed to tell you you're too fat and you need different springs.
Well, then since then I lost weight, and then I
Right.
tool. Yeah, so
So
it's always something you got to do all the time.
It was a sales tactic to sell more springs. That's what a shop does.
Setting your sag is something you should do
Well,
more than a few times a year.
Well, it should stay the
Is
same.
that you're
Once
setting
you-
your bike up?
Okay, so once you set it, here back to the question. You're setting the sag,
Sorry.
and it's kind of more or less the back of the bike.
Yeah.
So when you start adding weight to the front, you can check sag on the forks. Also, there's a setting. They don't usually quote it in the manual because they suspect that everything's based around the bike being balanced, and if you can't get the right amount of sag out of your rear shock, you need to go to a stiffer shock spring, and you should put a stiffer shock spring on, or fork springs, right? You should go up and up, in for the most part, in level
for the most part, you
increments.
want to, because they're usually pretty even. But you do get some bikes that get a little off.
Yeah, they
They're trying
come
to
with
hit that general
and you hear
mass that
and you
a bike-
hear all the media guys talk about, oh, the forks are too soft on bikes that they claim that the forks are, the spring rate's wrong, and they'll tell you about stuff.
Well, we ran into that on the Cowie last year. Was that last year or the year before?
Where we're adding one fork spring.
Where
Well, we-
that was a lot of people went to just go straight stiffer fork spring to
Right.
fix what they wanted, but you could get to it by dropping the back of the bike and working with clickers. You could get close.
I'm
to it.
listening.
Yeah, so and that's what you took that bike. Chris took that bike, and we didn't have do we have the one fork spring or not? No, we didn't.
We didn't have a stiffer, but it was good because you were able to work.
Yeah.
Okay, we got close with that. I would prefer a.
You got a really good stock the way it was with
Yeah.
your balance by adjusting, and so you weren't talking about springs. You were moving the forks up and down the clamps.
Up and down the clamps, but then playing with sag. It's
Yeah.
full circle. We're back to
And we
sag.
have sound. We have sound. We have to do the sign language thing here. So we're talking about this like this, and then
I'm listening. I'm learning.
That's a bit.
Hopefully you are too.
so
Well, I'm super glad to be here with Chris and Jimmy. These guys, they know way more than they think, and sharing it with you guys and me, I just can't even believe I'm here drinking beer with these guys. Tech Talk Tuesday. Where's the freaking tacos?
We had them already.
We ate first. We should be eating
Jenny,
it now.
Jenny was so
We could
worried
be
about
making
you.
tacos in this hot.
We can put them right on the grill.
But no, yeah, you're right. Suspension is everything. And that whole sag thing.
We're gonna get to it. So
Dude, you got closing the show down.
I'm just saying.
You just
Yeah.
like spot on.
Well, the whole show
I do-
here is because sometimes you just get drifting off into these questions that, dude, if you don't know how to set your sag, what are you even doing riding?
Whoa.
Set your sag, it's in your
that's a valid comment.
that's pretty simple. Adjust your seatbelt if you drive your car. Yeah.
Somebody
And,
said
you know,
that rider sag isn't just what hangs over his belt.
Right. So I mean, talking about sag is always kind of just air pressure in an off-road truck. I mean, do you,
Right,
do you
it
wear
is.
it down
It
to
is
14 or do you wear it down
Okay,
to
so
20?
back to I want to get
I don't know. Are you
Chris's-
fast? Are you slow? Are you fat? Are you skinny? Are you freaking wearing? Do you have 5 gallons of gas in your tank? Are you going to ride around all day with 5 gallons and come back to the truck with 4.5 gallons? Or are you going to ride that 5 gallons of gas? You know what I mean? So
yeah. So we're gonna get back.
all these
We're gonna
different
get back to
guys.
this question. I want to get back to the question. So we're talking about
Sorry. I'm skipping.
So no, you're skipping. So we put the
Full circle. He's coming back to it.
So you're.
That's why
The
he's
thing,
the boss.
what it comes down to is sag is a number, and you can take. It's like you can set it in a regular
it's
sag. You say I like it or I don't like it. Whether they give you a front fork sag, some bikes do, or they don't.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. But if you're riding that bike, you put that stuff on, you ride on it, and all of a sudden notice, oh, it's too soft. Well, then you make an adjustment. Don't make an adjustment just based on a number. You should have a need for an adjustment. Like I want to change it. And if you're putting X amount of weight up on the front of the bike, you would expect that you're probably going to have to go up a rate or something on your forks.
Well, it also comes down to how you check the sag because a lot of people sit different places on the seat.
Right.
So it's like your number's going to be different, but you ride the bike, you're like, oh, my sag's 106.
If you
And you adjust off your
you check. Okay,
your
so you
sag.
check your, and the thing even about that. So you set your sag the way they set it, and then you say, okay, it's 106. You set it at 106, and you go ride around. And you say, this bike is kind of sluggish. It doesn't turn. It's like, well, maybe you can have less sag, raise the rear up, put more weight on that front wheel, and get it to turn better.
How he likes to ride his bike.
That's the adjustment. Yes. Well, I'm changing.
See, here's
You
where I
changed.
get stopped
No,
on the
I-
whole
everything's
talk
fine.
about it. Okay, talking about it, you'd almost have to stereotype one type of person that you're setting that sag for. When here you have geek kook riders like me that are slow and fat and have a full tank of gas, and then you got that light guy that might weigh the same amount, but he's a lot faster.
Speed has nothing to do. It's
I look at
it's
it
a
more,
preference.
it's more of a
You set
how
your
you want the bike to sit.
Yeah.
So like he likes the bike to sit on the front end majority of the
I
time.
wanted to
More-
turn on the front wheel.
he
I'm
wants to
more
sit
worried
down.
about turning than anything else. And so
But like moto-
sag is super adjustable. Weight
I look at it like
first,
balance.
and then
Balance on the bike.
yeah.
Because I like moto, I like the bike to sit back a little and sit a little more level like that, where he still likes it to be on the front.
I can't get his bike to turn.
But if I go off road or like say like my 500, I want a little more weight on the front because it actually works better in that world.
And it's funny for me
So
off road.
I can
I'm willing,
change.
and me
So
off road
something
because
is
you're not
totally
turning,
adjustable.
so much.
Yeah.
I'm willing to let it drop.
Oh,
a
when
little
I
bit
say
to gain
off road, I'm
stability.
talking into rocks and not like pounding desert hoops like you
No,
love to.
I don't pound desert hoops. I haven't ridden a hoop in like 13 years, except for those two that I hit like like
so
6
sag
weeks ago.
has like a huge range of
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah,
to
and-
talk about it is almost like you got to do
And-
it.
so
Set
you-
your sag, go ride, have your buddy watch you, have your buddy
No,
help
you don't
you.
need anybody.
You know what I mean?
You don't need
watch,
friends. It's like
watch
powder
and
day.
see.
It's like powder day. You just go.
You got to go test. You got to go
It's,
test them.
it should be by feel. I mean, if you
Yeah.
and that's the thing. If you don't know this stuff, set it to manufacturer setting, and then if you've done something or you are something that's a little bit different, you're heavier, you're lighter, you've added weight here or there, then just do the common sense thing. If I've added weight, I might need a heavier spring. So you can always kind of roll it back into, it's that's why they make all this stuff that's super adjustable. And that's why there's a lot of companies out there, including Creft, who did a suspension for me, and I'm going to tell you about it like next week on next week's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday number 94.
One of my favorite ways is go on YouTube and watch Dirt Rider test, Jimmy Lewis.
Dirt bike test.
How do I set my suspension, Jimmy Lewis, all that kind of stuff. I just Google it on YouTube.
You should.
Next thing you know, I learned.
You should watch Tech Talk Taco Tuesday,
Yeah.
and then when we get super technical, just whatever brand we say, you need to switch off the YouTube and go to like
That
the
brand.
thing where you can buy stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you go there, you
Click
tell them
below.
you learned about it on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Thank God Jimmy Lewis can remember your name because you sponsor the show. Because there's a few companies that I just keep forgetting their name. They make really good products, and I lose track of who they are.
Well,
You know how it goes.
if they like to give a little effort to this to the
Yeah.
to the show, it's real easy to remember them a little bit better.
Yeah. So
In the end, don't be afraid to play with your sag.
don't
Yeah,
be afraid to
exactly.
have your sag. Justin, I'm sorry about that. He says he's dying right now.
Sorry, Justin.
Kind of like the
Sorry.
kind of like the guy, some
I'm
guy that was
clueless.
going to make the parking have to pay for parking up. the
All I
road.
got's wheelies and
Said he was
skids.
killing it. Yeah. Hey, so another thing is a guy gave me a question about the Yamaha WR250, which
Love
is
that bike.
what is
You
it
got a
with the
fan
WR250?
right there.
A fan?
It's just such a great bike.
It's a
nice
good
and
bike,
quiet.
yeah.
It's
It's
like
quiet.
an urban assault vehicle on that
So-
thing. You can finance that thing with a single signature from your girlfriend. Shoot it down to the beach.
But you've got to get a competition ECU to make it run.
Oh, of
right.
course.
Yeah. So and the question is like he said, Jimmy, I heard that you have to get this competition ECU, which you don't have to, but it sure does run better with one.
Oh yeah, they're all choked up.
And when you buy the competition ECU, there's a very detailed set of instructions, and it comes with a little screw to get rid of the throttle stop, and it tells you how to modify the muffler to make the muffler flow a little bit better. All these things, and if you do everything but the ECU, the bike actually works pretty darn good. But the ECU is what you really want, and the best thing about it is you get the access to having the Yamaha Power Tuner app work. And it's Wi-Fi, so you have to buy the ECU, and then you have to buy this Wi-Fi dongle thingy-majigger so you can talk to it. And then he was like, he thought he needed to buy some extra tuner. Like, remember when we used to have the blue box? There was a
But then
tuner to
it
plug
all
in.
went to-
It's free. Now your Yamaha Power Tuner app is free, and you can make some. I'm not even close, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
Chris and I are handling it though.
Yeah, not even close.
Driver,
Still,
yeah.
this one still has something to say.
Hey, is this the new studio? We come up here every
No,
week?
just tonight only.
It's a one night only. Then I'm gonna go to the next guy who complains about the show. And I'm gonna
I didn't
say-
complain.
No, you offered suggestions. I forgot. So this power
You
tuner
asked
app.
me for my Wi-Fi. That's all about it was. It was just like, what's your Wi-Fi? So, What's the password? I don't know.
I walked in and did some checks, and it didn't work very well.
You know, I'm getting thrown under the bus for complaining.
We had enough Wi-Fi. We had enough Wi-Fi to run the.
If I could get some moose bibs, I'd be.
Moose bibs. We needed
nitro.
You had questions? Nitro Moose. Yeah, I can remember that one right now.
Yeah, I can do that.
They're one of the sponsors that help.
It's the one thing I want. Is all I want. It's a recluse.
And a recluse.
You run a recluse.
Recluse are makers of awesome auto clutches, and do you know they make a left-hand rear brake? So you can actually take your clutch lever and just throw it away, and then you have your brake up there, kind of like a bicycle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because you don't need your clutch there anymore because it does all the work for you. It actually makes you a better rider, the Recluse clutch. I stand by that statement.
I could say that it would make me a better rider.
And then you can do skids by pulling on with your finger. You do real skids with your finger.
No footed skids.
No footed.
Well, it's easier to look back.
No footed skids.
Sure
If you don't need to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So Recluse has been supporting. I don't know if they're still
No
supporting
footed
Tech Talk
skids.
Taco Tuesday, but they have supported Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
Which is it? I thought I did a no footed skid and put it on my Facebook.
You have more
We got
followers.
so many views.
Face tube.
FaceTube. Yeah. I'm looking at getting something. You know that there are 27 people still watching whatever we're doing right now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's past your bedtime.
No, hey, you know what I was thinking about the other day?
Did
you
it hurt?
remember you remember those moto trainers?
The pogo
The
stick.
hydraulic.
The pogo
Oh,
stick.
like
The suit.
that
No,
you
yeah.
sat on the bike and it was like a
Oh.
fucking Bronco.
No, I don't. I
You don't?
remember that, but
Right?
yeah.
Did you ever ride one of those?
Don't think so.
Maybe at like a motorcycle trade show or something.
No,
I thought you were talking about the pogo stick, the gnarly pogo stick.
No. It's
I've
like
seen
a
it.
bucking Bronco, but the bike just does. You twist the throttle and it bucks faster. You never saw those?
No.
For a little bit, they put them into some gyms and stuff, or somebody started it. But
I'm sure there's one out in
when you talked
Vegas.
about the Suzuki dealer,
Terra,
it was I'm not sure which. Drawing a blank on what dealer it was,
He had them.
but he had two of them,
Had to been Langston.
and you could pull in.
That guy was next level.
You
Good
pull
shop.
it. You could pull in. It had a clutch and a throttle.
Yeah.
And you twist the throttle wide open, and the thing would just it just did this, but it had like different,
Just like a real bike, right?
Buck, yeah.
No,
You
yeah.
pull the clutch, it would stop it.
Oh.
You eased off the throttle, it would slow down. But
Down. I want to ride one now.
I think you
Sounds
could
horrible.
probably find one.
Oh,
With a
yeah.
helmet or no helmet?
Wear
My
the
fir- yeah, I'd
legal
probably
department of
wear
some.
I'd wear a helmet. I'd want
Yeah.
to wear a helmet.
I don't remember. What
So you got any more questions, Jimmy? Has anybody even got a question, or are they just bored out of their mind?
No, they're talking about.
Kinda
I
like-
can't.
You got so many questions.
I
and
can't-
we're not answering any of them.
No, they're talking about something we can't talk about on the thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can.
They're still
There's
talking
got to be
about.
one of them.
They're still talking about playing with your stag, right?
No, it went down. It just over on the chat room. It really went down a downhill thing. So if you really want to know, you can go on the Facebook video, watch it, and run through the chat and stuff. And
We're
Is
just
there
saying
anybody
no.
that wants to know about foot pegs or?
I was talking about the Yamaha
Handlebars?
tuner, which I think is great. No, you want,
Ergonomics?
so what did you want to know about mooses?
Well, a couple of years ago, I got a flat tire on my motorcycle.
Right, happens.
Ended up in the back of the pack changing my tire for about 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then ended up helping a bunch of other guys change their tires.
Thank
We all
God you're
got-
good at changing tires.
Yeah. And then about 20 minutes later, got hit head on by a side by side.
And now you want to buy
My theory
one.
is if I would have had those bibs,
Uh-huh.
I would have never got a flat tire.
Oh,
I
that's
would
a
have never
great.
come across that guy.
That's a great reason.
Yeah,
that's
that is a really
okay.
good reason.
So
if-
safety.
right there for safety.
You standing around changing flat tires, you never know what could happen.
Right.
Get out there, get on it.
Yeah.
If you can get that without having
And
to.
you asked an interesting question the other day. You said, hey, can I use them for dual sport riding? Because you're a dual sport rider. You ride trails, but you're
Yeah.
able to ride on roads to get to the trails and stuff like that. And yes, you can use them for dual sport riding as long as your definition of dual sport riding is mostly riding on dirt.
Yeah.
Like if your definition of dual sport riding is I'm going to ride 170 miles and go ride a 6-mile trail and then ride 170 miles. No, don't use at that point. Don't use mooses. And you could, but they don't like the heat. They don't
Right.
like the heat cycle. I mean, we raced with them in rallies. They still race with them in rallies. I take the used ones out of the guys that come and train with me for rally. Like a lot of times they're like dead to them. They're worn out. It's a great moose for me, and I get another year out of it running it in mostly trail bike. Would I take it and go
ride a day of rally with these guys with that mousse? Well, I would, because I'm cheap and I'm not that fast. But after a day or two more, they're really dead, and then they're good for like extreme enduro. They slowly. It's like a tube that loses air pressure over time. They actually shrink. It depends on the brand. There's different brands. Some shrink more, some get softer more, some kind of hollow out from the inside.
I think it's worth the investment.
But really, what he's saying is, you don't want him to give you one of his.
No,
I don't want any hand-me-down. I don't need any bro deals. I'm not going the bro deal route with mousses. I'm going to Amazon probably. And
I heard
myself.
there's a way that like I could trade you a slightly broken down mousse, and I could get a gold medalist X Games broken snowboard.
Oh, easy. Well, so now let's go about. What about the tire balls? Did those ever evolve? Remember those?
They're big in the quads right now, but in the bikes not so much. I mean they did kind of take off, but
those back in the 90s?
those didn't like
Like
high speed at all.
Yeah.
They didn't like because they have only certain points are contacting, and those would get friction and hot and have. But for slow speed, they were really good. I know Scott Summers ran those things quite a bit.
Well, his dad invented them.
His dad invented them. Yeah.
I met him at
Tire
Mammoth
balls.
Motocross.
Yeah.
I actually have one of the little,
No tire ball.
like a little tire ball. He gave me one.
Ah, demo.
Dog chases it.
So
So no, yeah, the mousse stuff is or the bibs, whatever you want to call them,
Another-
inserts, good stuff.
Another question from Justin Smith. He says, Fastway Kickstand versus Trail Tech, go. And he says, I know Trail Tech is a sponsor and better.
let's take a call.
I don't like kickstands at all myself, but
It's nice when you.
luckily I have my stock one still, and it's amazing on my KTM. I use a little rubber thing sometimes, but
They're fine.
if I have my, I
So
don't
as long
like
as you-
kickstand at all. I don't trust them unless you want to use them for turning your bike around on a super skinny single track or icy single track.
The only time I use my
Yeah, mostly
kickstand
use
is for
to
holding my
keep
bike
the
up
bike.
when it's not fall over. That's the
Yeah,
only
I-
thing I use my kickstand for.
I'm the one that puts it up and it falls down, or I typically try to find a tree or
So the difference between a Trail Tech and a
kickstands. I've had those things. I've had a kickstand come up my pants, up my
I was gonna say, I
shirt.
think there's a story behind.
No,
kickstands.
I've had a relationship with a few XR 600 kickstands, and
you can get your leg caught in one of those.
yeah. So
They cut the whole mount off the frame. on
if you're
most
trying to
of them.
make your kickstand better than it is, I mean, I don't know. I'm
So-
not the guy.
So
Take it off, throw it away.
no. So the problem is the KTM ones.
He just said no.
If you put any pressure on your KTM kickstand, it's going to break the bolt because the design of the bolt and everything. It's just going to break it out. So
It's
the,
just to
the
hold the
Trail
bike
Tech,
up.
the Trail Tech one it has a different kind of bolt. It's a recessed bolt and it has more stability and stuff. The Trail Tech is like an OEM kind of replica kickstand, bolts right on. It's really strong for what it is. Just a really nice replacement kickstand. I have them on most of our rental bikes because someone always tries to climb on the bike with the kickstand down because that's what they do on their BMW or their Harley, and they don't realize this is a lightweight competition motorcycle. And the
And for
kickstand,
lowered bikes, do they have different lengths, or are they
you
adjustable?
can cut them. You know, most of them the bottom portion is adjustable and you can cut them, and that on the
That's
Trail Tech.
nice.
So we're going to talk about like why I like the Trail Tech because it bolts right on, it's stronger than stock, it looks good, and if you do have to lower it, you can cut it. I hate lowered bikes, but that's me. I'm pretty judgmental.
Well, my wife rides a lowered bike,
Right.
and that's why I don't let her use her kickstand because her kickstand's too
Too
long.
tall.
And then it tips over every
You can
time
cut.
she
You can cut the stock one too.
Well, I was
you pull the
hoping you
cleat out
would
and
have
you
done
cut.
that when you had it for 4 months, but you didn't.
I just took it to the dealer. I just did. I did your dirty work.
I'm gonna get a Trail Tech kickstand
So
for
the
that bike.
the Fastway, the Pro Moto one is a much more robust. It's a heavier thing with it has a mechanism where there's a spring. It's got a really good spring clink. You know, it ratchets and everything like that. It's more heavy duty. It weighs more. It's a little more stuff that goes. It gets bolted on behind the kickstand and
I'll
everything.
drink
Now,
to that.
neither one of those has the little death bolt, right? That flips up when you pick the bike up, or do they have that automatic?
No, that's a KTM only feature. Yeah.
But they give you the bolt to change it out.
Yeah, you can change it. On a KTM, they come stock with well, no, I don't think here they do. It's a European
Well,
thing. It's a European thing. That standard is when you take the bike off the kickstand, it has to pop up. So they have a bolt that puts the spring in a different position, so it actually pops the kickstand up when you take the weight off of it. And in your kit, when you buy a KTM, it comes with a different bolt
that removes that little spring tensioner thing. That's why there's that little metal.
Only on Tech Talk. Only on Tech Talk are you going to find out about a kickstand.
Somebody asked the question.
I know. I'm stoked on that guy. And I just found out I want one now. Now more money I got.
Oh, no.
More money.
That's it.
Yeah. You should
You
just
gotta
watch
get a
it.
hand-me-down.
This is
Maybe
for my
broke
wife. I
off
could get it for
this.
Valentine's if it was a week ago.
Oh.
I'd have been set.
Never
Yeah.
too late.
They always, if you buy your wife's stuff, it's always easier than your own.
Craig Albert says there's one that
exactly.
Oh, shit.
there's
Oh,
one
she's
that
got everything.
pops up and hits your shit. Just as in my experience, 2 or 3 pro moto billet are fast way. The mechanism is too complicated, too many tolerance stack ups.
God, you guys
they eventually fail and
throw
get
that
loose.
thing out.
No, I have them on a couple of my bikes. I do have some of the Trail Tech one or the pro moto billet and fastway ones. I have them on.
I was thinking
Sierra
like
450.
a 2 so I can a center stand so I can lift my whole bike off the ground.
They used to make a kit. KTM used to have the tabs used to be on the frames for center stands. If you're going to change the tire on the trail, it's great. But I just find the rock and pop it up. Or I did I think I did a whole thing someplace where I showed how to like
Rock.
use a rock, use a stick, like ride
It's
into
not
a
easy.
ditch, ride into a ditch, and like either pull a wheelie up the ditch and have the front wheel hanging, or hang the rear wheel off a ditch.
Said it was on purpose, but it wasn't.
It was how to change your tire on the trail. Trail tire.
All else does is just lay the bike over.
You lay it over, yeah. It's hard. Just make sure when you lay it over, you
Get the axle out.
you take the nut off first, then lay the bike over, and then pull the axle out. I've seen too many people lay the bike over, and then they take the nut off, and then they like, oh, we got to flip it over and get the axle out. And
Or you could use a buddy's bike. I've done that.
yeah, to lean it on.
Yeah.
Lean it
Actually,
over.
best case is you go ride with him, and then you're like, oh, I don't know. And then he takes it over and he changes.
I just ride it home flat. I watched my wife ride 80 miles flat on both tires sideways like this. Just don't tell her.
Oh, don't tell her it's
Don't
flat.
tell her it's flat. It'll be fine. We'll get him back at the shop.
Yeah.
Just keep going. That's what zip ties are for. Duct tape.
There was one other question. I had another good question. And San Felipe Bob says the stock
Justin?
Yamaha.
San Felipe Bob. It's funny you say that. I don't know if he remembers riding with me one time. Scott Scarborough, me, him.
He
We went
probably.
to Silverwood.
He
He showed up on his YZ250 and just schooled us
Oh yeah.
and then left. It was the very only sighting I've ever had of
San
him.
Felipe Bob. Yeah.
And I did actually.
He's still a Yamaha guy. Anytime it's like
Scarborough from Infight.
he wants. Yeah, I know Scott. San Felipe Bob wants us to be Yamaha talk. Only Yamahas.
I like Yamahas.
Yeah, I like Yamahas too. I think they're good. But anytime he just wants to throw Yamahas in there.
First motorcycle.
But the
I
other
had,
thing,
Yamaha.
the other thing San Felipe Bob will drop on you, a little bit of knowledge, is he soloed the Baja 2000. And he didn't ride a Yamaha. So I don't know where all this Yamaha love comes from.
XR 400.
No, he did it on an XR 600. I don't think they had 650s at the time. I don't remember when. I don't even.
He's an awesome rider.
Yeah. So,
And his name's Bob.
Bob.
Baja Bob.
Bob. He's San Felipe Bob.
You seen that guy on a jet ski?
Huh?
You seen that guy on a jet ski?
Tiger Shark. He was a world champion jet ski racer.
Dialed on those things.
I only hang out with people that are like,
I know.
yeah, way up there, and like the little people just sorry.
Ray Grown.
Yeah, Ray Grown, the guy that could jet your carburetor over the phone. Spike Racing. We talked about it. I don't know if it was on this show or the one that we started 10 minutes before this show, or when we started 20 minutes before this show. There was a lot of shows before this show, so you may be missing out on some of the show.
I think the coolest guy I ever met because of you
Oh, here we
was
go.
probably Johnny Campbell.
Johnny Campbell. I like Johnny
I
Campbell.
met him once with you riding at Dove Springs. I remember we all took off on a ride, and all of a sudden my bike stalled, and I was all, my bike stalled. And he rode up next to me and was like, your gas. Check your gas. And I was like, oh yeah, the gas. That's I'll get that.
You
Never saw him again.
Hey, because I don't like talking about racers or racing, and that's Johnny, and I don't like
He's a
doing-
dad. He's a super dad. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
I don't want to talk about.
I follow him
don't-
on Facebook.
I don't want to do any shameless plugs, but I know a place where you can go on a tour with Johnny Campbell.
Oh, I know. I heard he's going to be doing some stuff out of,
Perel?
yeah.
I heard about that too. You have to go to
Big
jimmylewisoffroad.com.
Big Loose. With GPS.
Yeah. We use Trail Tech Voyager Pros, and they have buddy tracking. So when Johnny Campbell goes too fast, you can just follow his track. His buddy. No, he doesn't. He's a great tour guide. That's why I don't do it, because I'm a horrible tour guide.
I'm wondering if I should go on one of his tours or to his school now.
Both. Yeah. Just run the credit card. Finance
I
it.
think it's like a combo deal.
Finance it.
Yeah.
Got to go to the school, then
Just finance
Well, what
it.
about the time I worked for you at one of your schools and chased all day long the guys for the Dakar that time? Sent me out with the vice president of Chili's kid or something like that, remember? And they were out of State Line.
Oh,
Here, Marco, ride this bike. And
that was
the guys
kid-
were going 300 miles like this, and I was going 150 miles like this. And
That was a kid from South America.
yeah. And it was
Oh,
a
man,
long
that's a
day.
long time
It was
ago.
from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
How did I get you to do that?
I don't know, you paid me.
I know I
You
paid
were
you.
paying.
Yeah, I pay people
You
that work
pay.
for me. It's
And I can remember calling my wife saying, "Never again! Don't ever let me do this again." You know, I'm always at that lowest.
you got
The
paid.
lowest
Okay.
of a list of people you call to do stuff is I'm on that lower. Remember, you made us like rope the bikes up the waterfall the one time. We thought we were going motorcycle riding already. Oh no! Scott and I winched motorcycle. No, not winched.
Winched.
Pulled motorcycles up a waterfall.
That was
so,
that was the last ride to the Lost City. It was a story we did in Cycle World magazine. No, it was in the magazine. It was like what's your kid getting in his magazine right now in the ESPN? What's he getting? How many pages?
See, 6 in
6?
Sports Illustrated.
Dude, that was like 12 in Cycle
Well,
World.
I got a double-page spread.
Yeah, pulling a bike up a waterfall.
But no,
if you were just been riding, if you were just riding
How
down
many
the road,
people
it'd
did
be
you
like
call
this
that
small.
before you got us to say yes? What?
No, I called the right people
You know what I'm
first.
talking about,
Yeah,
right?
he's avoiding
There's certain
that.
things you say yes
I-
to.
I called the right people. But you do realize that because I paid you and you're a professional motorcycle
I
rider.
got a lot of money.
Yeah, that was
Great.
great. You use that money to make your next payment on your next Suzuki, so you can
I
get
learned
another
to
bike.
never skid again on
Never
the street and wreck a tire. And yeah, no, that was a long time ago, but never.
Do you know that place we rode to is called Surprise Canyon? It's now in a federally designated wilderness area inside of Death Valley. You cannot ride a motorcycle. You can only hike up there. They put these big barricades in that where we winched up. Essentially, they put these big barricades, it's all blocked up. So it was.
Remember, you were trying to bring.
Awareness.
riding.
That's why it was called the last ride to Lost City. We were probably the last motorcycles to ever go up there. That's so that's
Even though we didn't
all that-
ride them.
We rode.
Most of the way.
Okay, so there was
We rode most of the way.
one little section. Hey,
No, we rode them forever.
hey, you know what?
Drafting at 45 miles an hour for an hour straight.
We rode a long ways on a really small, shitty dual sport.
Tiny.
bike.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun as hell.
You know,
Yeah.
if you were Graham Jarvis, you would have rode up it.
Oh, he would have rode it on the handlebars backwards.
Yeah, I know. Like the guy you were making me watch in the stunt.
Can I get his number? I want to call him.
I do have his number. I use
No,
him
I
as an
don't.
example all the time. Oh, okay.
Are we drifting away from the tech?
Marco, when you sold that cow and your friend tried to make it with the cow.
Once we got into kickstands,
See,
you lost me in the
that's
kickstands.
where we're. See,
I
this,
thought we were
this
going
is
to talk about financing and
this is
how much
where
it costs to buy a new motorcycle.
it all
now,
starts
if you
going
can even
crazy.
find one.
Hey, you know, there's another way you can support dirt bike tests that I'm trying to keep. So I want to try to keep the lights on there. The way you can keep the lights on there is to go onto the website and there's links to Amazon. You can buy stuff on Amazon and we get a small chunk of that. You know, it's like affiliate marketing. Somebody told me how to do it and I did it and it's up there. You can do that.
Amazon's great.
And then there's ads on the sides of the Fresh Dirt. There's companies that support us. It's through Digital Throttle. Click on some of those, and people will go, "Oh, you saw it on Dirt Bike Test," and then Chris can come and test for us one of these days. Not busy.
Yeah, when I'm invited.
You're invited.
Yeah.
Yeah, not busy. I mean, it's kind of funny because if
He's
you're
not
always
up
busy,
here at altitude.
yeah.
Losing
Like,
his
how
mind.
do you always end up being like the fun places doing all the fun stuff? And that's the only time I run into you. And then like it comes time to do the work, like when I call Marco,
Yeah.
you're not around.
That's just how it works out sometimes.
Hey, I got
I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came to break the ice with us tonight because Jimmy and I would have been skipping all night.
He gave me the wrong
We
address.
didn't even have sound.
I walked into 2 other houses.
Oh no. You hadn't
Chased
seen
out.
chased out of the house.
Yeah.
Hey,
You didn't see the people move around?
hey, something else.
You
I
see
know
the dually?
this show has been severely lacking and stuff, but I do want to bring one thing
See
up.
that we get on the
Hey,
show and it's lacking.
hey, Chris, what's your dad's favorite bike?
Oh, that would be a Husaberg 570.
Yeah, if we had a bell right now, Marco, it'd be ringing.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
don't break the show.
Right here.
So, yeah, Mr. 570.
Oh, you get. That's because we have bears. We throw that at the bears when they come.
No, that'll help.
Well, it's good to have a bear come over
Are we
during
in
the
the middle
show,
of-
but it's
are we in the
winter and
middle
they're
of city?
sleeping. They don't ride huskies or husky birds.
Do you want to read this?
What's this one?
You want to read this? Read that nice and loud out to the camera.
Okay. Do you see it?
The whole paragraph?
Yeah, it doesn't take that long. It's 30 seconds.
First sentence.
Yeah, start with Hondas. Honda's new. Oh, if you're clear the throat, yeah.
Honda's new 2021 CRF 450R is designed to take you straight from the starting gate to victory circle. This awesome open-class motocrosser features an all-new chassis and a major engine overhaul. Did you type this?
No, that's the way they sent it to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep going. Because
New suspension,
the kid that usually does this,
new bodywork,
New bodywork?
New bodywork.
Amazing.
and you can forget about clutch fade, adjustment, or hand fatigue with the new hydraulic clutch system. Lighter than ever, CRF 450R explodes out of corners when it's time to increase your lead. That's I don't think I'd use that.
Well, why do you think Roxon wins all the time?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta finish that
That's
sentence.
why Roxon wins all the time. He's got that bike.
exploding out of the corners.
Yeah, he explodes out of the corners. The AMA.
Actually, you know what's funny is like the old tagline used to be "Ultimate Hole Shot" or something like that. What was it called?
Ride the red, I thought.
No, it was
Yeah,
like
Ride Red.
What?
No,
Ride
there was-
red.
there was-
Red. It was Ride Red.
Yeah, it was Ride Red, but they used to call their CR450
Red.
Ultimate Hole Shot.
Ride red. Ride the red.
Okay,
That'd be
so
good.
yeah, got it. We're getting there.
All right. Well, let's get back to that since you interrupted. Lighter than ever, the CRF 450 explodes out of corners when it's time to increase your lead. Get down to your local dealer and check out the 2021 Honda CRF 450R. Go to mx.honda.com to see our full lineup of competition bikes. The CRF 450R is intended for closed course operation only, unless you're riding with Jimmy Lewis.
You get a
It
spark
doesn't say-
arrested.
What?
Doesn't say
Gotta get a
that.
spark
Oh, no,
arrested.
They-
it does
they-
say closed course
You
operation.
don't realize that they got so much more for their money on that read because it took a long time.
Yeah.
Like, for fans of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, if you can go on Logan's Instagram, whatever it's Logity.
You got a
whatever-
GoFundMe for his
Log-
medical bills?
No, not medical bills. He did eat.
Needs a new
Doo-doo.
subframe, and
No,
back fender?
he ate doo doo, and he's a little sore right now. So he probably likes some words of encouragement.
Dude, that's how I feel every inch of my body, every day of my life, Logan. Get back on that thing. Give it a little pepper, you'll be just fine.
Don't worry. When I got the text message you was in there, I said, "So that means you're gonna miss Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, right?"
You got lucky.
Yeah.
You got lucky with it. I had a snowboard all day with us, Logan, and then
We didn't-
and don't think you're going to get out of
we didn't
snowboarding,
We
Logan.
didn't snowboard.
Dude, you didn't cover any of this.
I did.
On
No,
this
that's-
show.
I can't
from a
read
long
this.
show.
I got
Oh,
glasses.
You need glasses? Okay, I'll read it. It's because you own a KTM.
No, I can put glasses on and read it, but
Okay. We'll wait for. We'll give you a minute. Because Marco's going to do the ad read. This is what guests get to do. It's like, no.
I don't even know where my glasses are.
Okay, good.
I'll tell you what,
Howard.
I bought a lot of KTMs and I love them because
This
for
is the
one,
average right now.
they're awesome.
They're
the
Marco,
community's
ready to
awesome.
race.
They're ready to race after you put about $3 or $4 grand into them. The dealerships are awesome. They'll finance you with a co-signature from your girlfriend.
Even
No
if you want a
problem.
street or off-road motorcycle.
Oh, even if you want street or off road, and I've heard they've got great quads as well as that.
No, they don't have quads. They have a reputation as a fierce competitor on racetracks around the world.
They do have a fierce reputation of having a super competitive edge around the world.
With the global success,
With global success, and Quinn Cody running that program, he's always going to win.
he's got global success.
He's got global
Yeah,
success.
yeah. And,
Tony Price,
Yep.
one of my favorites. I watched this whole thing on YouTube too. He's awesome.
You asked me if I would watch it, and I haven't seen that yet.
Well, you'll get out.
I gotta get to the YouTubes.
Toby, you heard that? If you're watching Toby,
Maybe I'll have to have
You and
Logan
Jimmy.
watch them for me, and then give me the clip notes.
imagine if you and Toby were doing this,
I do it with Ricky Brayback, bro.
and Toby.
Yeah,
That'd
that'd be
be-
good. Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
that.
dude, on the oval, at the Airbnb.
Well, his you know
The
you
new
know,
Airbnb?
Hey, do you know what it's like when your girlfriend is faster than you?
I absolutely, yes,
Right.
I do.
I watched. I watched Sarah Price. She was on 2 episodes ago. Another racer. We didn't put her Logan didn't put her on the list, but she was on the list of the people that she was talking.
She smoked us on the flat track. Like, flat out on a Kawasaki KLX 110, just wrecked all of us. It's kind of like if one were to actually go snowboarding with your wife.
Well, when you haven't seen Jenny pit bike lately, she has not dropped the ball. She's been pit biking with the kids. Religiously, we have 5 or 6 pit bike tracks in Mammoth that are off the hook.
Where's Mammoth?
Up in the Sierra.
Right.
That we go to. We travel there once in a while. But if you want a pit bike and you want to get brown, come to town and. We have not dropped the ball in the pit bike arena, Jimmy.
That's good.
And you're
well, the flat track's always open. So
we do prefer the XR 180.
Uh-huh.
We like the 100s and we like the 80s.
Hey,
anybody has one for sale?
And you can provide financing, a little bit of financing on the side. Hey, everybody, thank you for joining in, watching us. We'll
But he isn't the closer. He's the
you were
closer.
worried
He's
it was
been
going to go
closing-
an hour.
He's been closing the show
Okay, I'm
like
saying
2-3 times.
I'm just saying things.
You gotta close the show.
Oh, okay, you got to close the show. You gonna do the rap?
Am I?
Yeah.
Kind of like Ken Block does in the Hooligans.
I
Have to yell really loud?
I didn't watch that one either. So
Oh, God, we gotta get this down.
So you gotta
Well,
get-
I'm super excited to get to host this show with Jimmy Lewis, super big mentor of mine in motorcycle riding. You know, I haven't ridden with him that much, but the times that I have has stuck with me like glue. Chris, my new friend here, we're gonna get to ride soon.
You've ridden before.
He
You've ridden-
came to our